start then. Forgive me, I'm absolutely full of cold. My voice isn't what it should be, so bear with me as we go through this. First of all, thank you all for coming. It's great to see as many of you here as there are. You will have seen the plans outside with the stick-it notes. I know that things look a bit regimented on there. It won't look quite so bad when the building's actually in use. I know it does look a bit like sort of rows of somebody's put a call centre on there already. But do give us your, do use your stickets, do use your feedback. We want to get this right. There are obviously limits to what we can do with the space given the number of people we've got to get in there, but do try and help us get this as right as we can. And we have talked about the ability to sort of individualise floors and desks and furnishings, colours and things like that, so there is some flexibility as well. So, but fundamentally to try and get the number of people we've got, I appreciate it does look a bit regimented on the plan, so just bear with us, but if there is any way you can get the same number of, if you're a Tetris expert or something, if you can get the same number of people in the same space and have passageways and access, that's fine. When you also look at the plans, do try and have a look at the common spaces. There are a lot of open offices for working in and spaces for people to sit in, coffee bars, etc. So you haven't just got your desk bit in there, you've got, the idea is that people are up and about and moving around in the building as well, not just coming in, sitting down at their desks, going home, and that's it, day's work done. We want lots of interaction in the building. So that's part of the story, I think. That's part of what we're trying to do, is get people into a bright new environment, hopefully colourful, much more modern than anything we've had so far. But the bigger programme is the step change programme, which is, it's great to go into a new building, but how we use it and what we do and how we work together is really critical. So our ambition is to climb our way up these world-class commissioning competencies fairly swiftly. I don't know how many of you saw the table in the Health Service Journal where they ranked PCTs. I'm glad you didn't. We were 140 out of 148. Largely because we got a red for finance. So in some ways we're sort of doomed. But bearing in mind this is not this year's performance in the sense it's a year's back performance. So I think what I wanted to say to you really fundamentally today is I hope we're on a journey together here. It feels to me like we've made some good steps forward in the last sort of 6, 7, 8 months I've been around, and before that. This isn't decrying the past at all. But it feels to me like the next 12 months are the critical ones actually, and the new building is a key part of that. I sort of feel like I've got an executive team with me at the moment that I have confidence in. We have an operating plan that I have confidence in. We have strategies that I have confidence in, but I don't think you believe that. And I think we've got to get you all believing that. And I think we've got to realise that we are now not a financially challenged PCT. We are a break-even PCT. In fact, this year we'll pay back £4 million of debt. Next year we'll pay back £9 million worth of debt. So we're in a different environment where I want you to believe that if you've got a budget or are in charge of a programme or a plan, it's your job to deliver it and not to worry about things and not to always feel under pressure to underspend or not deliver because there are issues. And I think we've got a big job to do together to cultivate a different environment for us all, where we all trust each other and we can believe in each other. And I really do think that new building will make a massive difference to that, along with SharePoint and all the other things that we're going to do. Those are the building blocks, but you're the key resource. It can't work without you believing in us, believing in the executive, the board and everybody else, and everybody understanding what the organisation's there for. So if I asked you what are the key things we're going to do next year, how many of you know? No, that figures, you see. So we are not getting over the core messages about our work programme, and we've got to think hard about communications as part of this. I hope many of you find my fortnightly briefings useful, but maybe we need to think a bit more about what the messages are there. So use this opportunity. There's lots of different rooms there. I know Farid's already done one presentation on SharePoint and ACT. I'm sure he'll do more if you'd like him to. Do look at the world-class commissioning competencies, because this is what we've got to achieve. I would look at the leadership room, which much has been in, but actually I want you all to be leaders of this. I don't want you to feel that you know who I am and I'm leading things and that's great. I want you to feel that you're leading your work areas, getting on with it and delivering high quality results to Hounslow residents, because that's fundamentally what we're all here for. I do think we've made progress. I think we've got finance under control. I think we'll do better on performance than I'd hoped a few weeks ago. It looks like we'll be solidly performing on performance. I'm very conscious that we now need to recruit. What's the vacancy level at Hounslow PCT? Commissioner? It's 45%. We have 45% of our jobs empty or filled with interim staff. We just can't run like that anymore, and the directors I know are beginning to feel my pressure to get job descriptions done and recruit, because you can't do your jobs without people around you helping you do it. And interims are great, but actually they don't have the commitment and the energy that I want from permanent staff who are there helping us deliver day in, day out, and who have a long-term commitment to the organisation. It is a different thing being in an organisation for 3 or 4 months rather than permanently part of it. So I want to move on. We are actively closing today, I think, jobs for the acute commissioning team. I want to move on to the other teams. I also want to start replacing some of the very competent directors we've got short term, but I want to get permanent directors in post swiftly too. So Paul's post will be the next one I hope we'll be advertising, then acute commissioning, and we'll be moving to fill all these posts substantively in the next 6 to 12 months. So what you're going to get when you get to a new building is some new colleagues, some new directors, some new technology, and I hope some new ways of working as well between us all. Lots more communication, lots more discussion. One of the things the survey that DGW did shows that we don't actually talk and move around the current buildings very much at all. Literally, people come in, go to their work areas, talk to their colleagues there, go home again. Might say hello to reception and sort of have a chat there, and that's about the end of it. The new building has lots of space, lots of circulation space. We're trying to put teams together in the space that sort of logically fit. I think we've got a good, hopefully a good plan for that now that makes some sense. So you're not going to find you sort of orphaned away from all your colleagues. Actually, directorates do fit quite neatly into the space that we've got. So there's a lot to happen, but it's going to rely on us all working together to deliver it. You've probably heard all this before. What will underpin that is our organisational development strategy. And I think for world-class commissioning we had to submit a plan which I think we all feel was sort of half the story really. It was very high level. I think the key part for me is about working with all of you and engaging everybody in how we develop this organisation and take it the next steps forward. Despite the progress we've made, the programme isn't called Step Change for just sort of, you know, because it sounds good. It's because I think we've got a big step to make before we become a truly world-class commissioning PCT. I'm not going to do all that in the next 12 months, but I think we can really make some good progress. So I hope you enjoy meeting your colleagues today. Do have a look at all the rooms. We've got voice over internet phones to discuss. We've got SharePoint and ACT, particularly comments on the layouts if you think there's anything wrong or whatever. But do ask questions about them as well. Linda wants to say a little bit about organisational development, and what I'd close on saying is I think we have all started this journey together. It's not going to be comfortable all the way, and these things never are, but I think we've got a terrific potential to make Hounslow hugely better than it has ever been as a PCT in the next 12 months. I can't do that on my own, and neither can the directors, although sometimes they like to think that they can. I think we really need you and your efforts, and I can begin to see things where, when we've got a focus on a clear target or a programme, I can see people in this organisation starting to work as I want them to, in teams, together, backing each other up, making things happen. And that's the way we'll succeed. But we've got a bit to do before we get there, and Linda wants to talk a bit about OG.
Okay, thank you.